And we take a breath. Yes. And let us fully arrive, shall we? Even more than we did just maybe 5 seconds ago. Let us really come into proper balance and alignment. And imagine scales, actually. Imagine scales establishing your equilibrium. Imagine your feet very firmly planted on the ground if they aren't already, and feeling very rooted. And with that, and you can even do this if it is comfortable, just maybe lifting your head. And if your eyes are open, if it feels comfortable, to close your eyes and just upward gaze, upward gaze, upward gaze, really getting ready to take off. Let us take off into a place of expansion, into a place that is sometimes here called a revolution of love. And in this place of expansion, we recognize that there is no hurt, harm, or danger, that there is only uplift, that there is only effervescence, that it is here where God, where love, where source, where goddess, one with many names, calls us to be. That this is the place of dreams, that this is the place where people are free, where we all are free, where we are living in a high heart love, in an exalted love. This place, this is not a utopian. This place is now. This place is here. Every time we come together at one of these services, every time we say yes to being here with each other, we win. And so let us truly avail ourselves. Everyone, please feel those feet on the ground, achieve a balance, imagine the scales equalizing, and the gaze going upward. And if there's a prayer that comes into being right now, into mind, it just might be this, at least what I hear is, what would you have us be? What would you have us do? The revolution of love is nothing if a vehicle for change. And under that change umbrella, family, under that change umbrella is certainly healing. And so tonight, yes, I ask you, as I've asked you before, and let us ask one another, what are we committed to? Are we committed to change? Are we committed to healing? Are we committed to living? What are we committed to? What are you committed to? In a moment, I am going to open up the space if you're comfortable. So whatever came in your mind, in your soul, in a moment, we will go off. We will hold just one moment, please. But I want us to be in this place of expansion as grounded as well. And to really beseech ourselves, what are we committed to? Because here's why. Let me just flush it out. The vision statement in the third line says, at the revolution of love, we are committed to our highest good. So it becomes very precarious. It becomes very concerning. If we are not clear about our commitments, and if we are not honest about our commitments, and as I have also said before, if you are having a hard time committed to changing, and with that healing yourself or being a healer in the world, that's okay. Be honest. Be honest. But perhaps there's a nudge inside you. I want to speak to the person right now that may have found themselves in a place of stagnancy, that you may find yourself in a place of stuckness. No shame and no blame here. There's no shame and no blame here at the Revolution of Love. No, 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 no. This is about an embrace. We said that last time, remember? We embrace people. We value you. We appreciate you. And so if it is hard to think about change, and if that feels jostling, and if it feels concerning to heal and to think about what that might bring in your life, even if it's positive, it can be scary. We respect that. We appreciate that. We honor it. We say, go at your own pace. We say, go at your own pace. Okay, now I'm going to come down from the branches. I'm going to come down from the branches, so to speak. And I am going to ask that question again. And ask you, tethered to the larger question of our highest, or the larger statement of we're committed to our highest good. I'm going to ask you, what are you committed to? What are you committed to? And if you'd like, please come off mute and let us hear you. And we'll do this Quaker style. We'll just wait till someone speaks.
Okay, me. In short, what I wrote on Facebook, but in short, to my family, to my community, to the world, to just make things better in whatever way I can.
Thank you, Evie. Thank you. Thanks for letting us witness you. Others, what are you committed to?
Taking action to achieve racial equality, whatever that takes, and for whatever time that takes.
Thank you, Lola. Thank you for letting us witness you. Others, please.
For me, it's, oh, sorry.
Yes, yes.
For me, it's the abolition of all forms of prejudice from my heart. I'm working toward that, to do better and to be better.
Thank you. I think that was Rob. Thank you. Others, what are you committed to?
Breaking silence as I witness. Again, following through with other people have said the same thing, but breaking the silence when you see the inequity happening. To take the action, to move forward, to speak. Your silence will not protect you, Audre Lorde.
Thank you, Leslie.
I am committed to other people, just helping others recognize their value in even the smallest ways, you know, that they matter. And that will continue until I'm no longer here, and then someone else will be doing it. But yes, we matter. You matter. This is for you, you know.
Thank you, Manny. Others, please let us hear you and let us support one another. I wish someone was scribing this, but I can scribe it after on the playback. You can post this if that's okay. What are you committed to?
It's me, Taylor X. I'm committed to letting everybody know that they are important and that they matter and they are a big deal. I'm committed to that. You're important, you matter, you're a big deal. You are somebody and you make a difference. And I want to commit to that.
Thank you, Taylor. I love it. I love it. That's so much what Revolution of Love is about, is reminding people exactly that. Exactly that. It's very important. To do a whole talk right now, improvisational talk on that. Others, what are you committed to? Please take one or two more. Going once.
Yeah, I have something to add that I didn't think of before. I'm committed to myself, to being my best self, my better self, and to my, to my health, to the health of my mind, but just being a better person to the world.
Beautiful. Thank you, Evie. It is so important. It is so important to remember to continue to care for oneself, to continue to make that commitment to oneself for our healing, for our good care, for our own compassion, for our own love, so that we may be ready and highly resolute in order to do whatever it is, however change looks. Because what it may look like for Leslie through music may be very different over here for Lola, and so on and so on. But we are all needed. We are all needed in this work of healing on a large scale as well. So we heal here, and then we are healers. You are all healers in the world. Let's amplify that tonight. Let's amplify and highlight that tonight. Is there anyone else that would like to speak out their truth as far as what they are committed to? Okay. So going to switch gears for a moment. And so let this sit right here as far as that we are committed to our highest good here at the Revolution of Love. And we're going to get to a way, a path, if you will, as far as what is that highest good here? What does that mean here? I do want to first go back a couple of notches, a couple of clicks, because in the last couple of weeks, we have had these interactive services. And in that interaction, what we were doing was breaking down the Revolution of Love vision statement. And so let me recite this for you. The first two sentences, because the third one is the one you just heard about our highest good, but I would like to recite the first two sentences of our vision statement as it stands now today in this moment. And please, don't just hear this. Receive this and see how it feels. If it feels advantageous for you, or if it doesn't, just notice. And so it goes like this, my friends. The Revolution of Love is a global ministry and movement of spiritual renewal and outreach dedicated to healing, to transformation, and to action. We embrace people where they are at, religiously, spiritually, and we welcome those who may be agnostic or atheist. And so the biggest aspects, the biggest bold-faced, underlined, italicized words to take away from the last two services preceding this one was number one, healing, and number two, value. that first line of the ministry vision statement and the movement, forgive me, ministry and movement, was all about your healing. And in fact, you spoke out what you needed healing for. You said, this is what needs to heal within me. Some folks talked about trauma. Some folks talked about their youngest part of themselves needed healing. Some folks talked about grief. Some folks talked about anger. But in that first sentence, again, let me repeat it. The revolution of love is the global ministry and movement of spiritual renewal and outreach dedicated to your healing. For what reason? That you may transform, that there may be a real, tangible, visible transformation. And why? The third word of action. Action. See, when we heal, let's take the individual first. We do transform. And I would say there's a shift that occurs and there's an integration that occurs. It's a big deal and it does take time. But the more currency that goes into that healing work, the more ready and available you are to create change in the way that you are going to create change. And the more sustained you will be. The toy. Lola was laughing about this last time. I got another one, a new color. So it's like this. There's the inner work, and then the more inner work you do, the more you expand outwards, doing the work in the world. And then when you need that rest and you need that respite, you come back, you might do some more inner work. You might go into community circle. You might come to Revolution of Love. You might, prayerfully, I don't know, have a connection with a friend or a family member. And that just further ignites you. You're further reminded. It's like when you have that good conversation with someone and you're just filled up energetically and you're like, oh yeah, that's why I'm here. That's what I'm doing here. Yes. And then you expand out. And you're, again, that much more able and that much more available to doing the work in the world. Ignore that tag right there. So it is always a both and here. It's always been a both and at the Revolution of Love, because we recognize that to just be blissed out and committing, dare I say, a spiritual bypass, that's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. Yes, we keep doing that work on ourselves, but we recognize that we also have to be engaged in the world, that there is too much that is happening, that there's so many different forms of violence. And so we don't stand on the sidelines and we are not complicit. No. So the healing is individual, that creates the transformation that, yes, boom, launches us into action. But remember, it is also about the collective. It's the collective healing as well. And so imagine now, like almost we're going up like into the branches of a tree. Again, that expansive place that I said, let's start in. And so that is healing in the collective, very expansive now. That it truly will transform, and we believe it, and we see that it's happening. We see that there are things afoot, that there is the movements that have been happening, that are burgeoning, and that a change is coming, that a change is happening now. Healing, transformation, action. And the second line, we embrace people. That was the first. I'll reiterate that. That second line of embracing people where they're at. And in that line, it does specifically talk about your path, your faith. And it says we embrace people where they are at religiously, spiritually, and we acknowledge those that may be agnostic or atheist. If you remember last time I said, Let's extrapolate upon this. Let's move even farther out on that. And we value you in all your totality. Feel this. We value you. We value you. That to me, my friends, is bigger than almost love. Yeah, I said it. Value, like we very much, we appreciate all parts of you. And I want to push back on the piece that often goes around, that is that, oh, I'm broken. The story, oh, I'm broken, or oh, no, I don't affirm that. We're not broken here. Are there parts of us that need healing for the transformation? Yeah, absolutely. But I that narrative and that story of broken, that's not helpful. Not anymore. It went on for too long. It went on for too long. That's old. That's old paradigm stuff. That's old. So what are we talking about here? That at the Revolution of Love, we are a ministry and a movement, that we affirm that we're going global, that we are all around the world, that there is a prayer cordon that goes all around the world, and that in that place of globalness, that we continue to renew our spirits, that we continue to do outreach, and that we dedicate ourselves to healing, transformation, and action. And from that, we embrace people, we value, yes, ourselves, like what Evie, I might be sort of paraphrasing, but we value ourselves, we value one another. And I am going to add something here too. There is a lot of nuance, I realize. I hope that it makes sense and that everyone's sticking with that. Value the people that value you, that are worth value. Value the people that are worthy of your time, of your effort, of your energy, and of your love. If you notice, if you see something, if you feel something, if you know something is off, then it's off. We don't have any time to dilly-dally. We don't have any time for that noise anymore. So it sounds like double talk. Maybe it is. I don't think so. I think that things are very complicated and there's a lot of nuance in life. It's about boundaries and it's about discernment. So those are the first two lines that I just felt we had to kind of go over a bit more. And as we enter this last part of this part of the service before we're going to close tonight, I want us all to really examine if we are committed to our highest good. And what that means to you. And what is that? What is our highest good? There's the Latin expression summum bonum, the highest good. And how we say that at Roll, what that means in this context of at Roll, this is about seeing everything differently. This is the place of ultimate, extraordinary vision. This is about creating. This is about creating a world where it's not negative peace, which is the absence of violence. No. This is about the presence of communities that are thriving and the presence of new ways of rehabilitation and new ways to take care of each other in so many things. And what I would really love in this week, if you can, is to write down. No, we're going to do it right now. We're going to do it right now, actually. Let's speak out what we see for the world. from a place of very much expansion and absolute creation. But if we're committing at the revolution of love, we say we commit to our highest good. So what is that, my friends? And we don't mince words. We cannot. Who cares? Just don't think about the how. Just imagine what it is we need to do and where we need to go. And so with that, let's come off mute and let's fill this out. From this place of creation, what do you see? What kind of world do you see? And I'll start us off. I see a world where there is affordable and accessible, clean water and food for everybody, and as well as healthcare and childcare. Those are my offerings. And I pass to whoever would like to come off of mute. What do you see?
I see a world where children are honored. They're not abused. Their words are listened to and they're not thrown away. They are our future, and we cannot keep hiding them or not believing them.
Thank you. What do you see? Where do you see us going?
I see a world where people notice things like the birds that build a nest in their eaves, the water that runs through a river near them, and that they decide to make choices that will make all of us who live on this planet have a better time on this planet.
Thank you, Judy. What do you see, everyone? What do you see? Where are we going to go? What are we going to create for the highest good?
People honored for who they are and not on the basis of the color of their skin.
Thank you, Leslie. Anybody else?
A world where maybe we can see others as we see ourselves. Yeah.
Thank you, Manny. Thank you.
I have trouble sometimes putting things into short thoughts. But what I've been experiencing in my personal life is a lot of chaos, and I'm working hard and committing more and better to removing that chaos and making a better life for myself. I believe that there can be a world with less chaos for everybody if we share love and positivity and just start to be better to each other.
Thank you, Evie.
I
Others?
see it's Taylor X here. I see us going to a place of better understanding, not just of each other, but of people that are not aligned with us, to understand why they think the way they think and what information have they been given that makes them form those thoughts. So once we understand that, we can come to a place of unity and not a place of violence or conflict, because we'll have an understanding. A lot of people have been lied to, and they live off those lies, and they get violent off of those lies. So to understand them, gives us a greater
Yeah.
way of living. So I'm saying understanding.
Thank you, Taylor X, for that word, understanding.
I want to see a world where we are supporting and funding education and the arts rather than prisons and bombs.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, along with that, equal education for all of our children so that they can come to their higher good rather than worrying about what they're going to eat or what's going to happen at school that day.
Okay. Thank you. Anyone else before we go into another element here? Okay, so I just want to give us a last Zumo. And I do encourage you, please write down, there was something that sparked from what someone spoke about where we need to go and what we need to create and what is seen or what we are seeing, then please write those things down. Write them down or sing them out or dance them through or wake them up in your body, wake them up in your soul. Because there is no more time to equivocate on this. There hasn't been. And I believe that the more we get clear on our highest good, the more we really reckon with that and that we believe in it, almost paraphrasing what Leslie sung to us. The more we believe, the more we really believe, the easier it is to commit. So that's how it's going to end tonight, my friends. That's exactly how it's going to to end tonight, is let us abolish any and rebuke. I'm going to use the word rebuke right now. Any aspects, any little arrows of doubt that try to waylay us off of the path of justice, of righteousness, of love. And when we say love here, remember, love is not passive here. Love is not weak. Love is not even unconditional here. Love is a force here. At the Revolution of Love, when we say love, we bring it. We are talking about love that includes advocacy, that includes accountability, that includes justice, that includes, yes, nurturing and an ultimate compassion as well, absolutely. But this is a big love. This is a love that is truly a force, an energy. And that love, when we go back to it and when we tap into it and when we receive it, like when we get to be here on a Sunday night and say yes to this place, feel the love here and let it eradicate any elements of doubt, any little arrows that try and get in your mind's eye, the third eye, any little aspects that go, no, we can't do that. No, it just won't work. We abolish it here. No. We tap in, we tune up, we drop down. And that is all there is to know about. At the Revolution of Love, we heal, we transform, we act, we do our best, we value you, we embrace you, we do love you, and we challenge you sometimes, as it should be. We challenge ourselves, as it should be. And we commit to seeing our highest good into being healers, to being prophets. I said it, to being radical revolutionaries of love. Because the time is now. And so let us take this seriously, remembering that every time that you say yes, every time that we say yes, we win. Peace and blessings, my friends. This is our holy prayer and our call to action for this week. Amen.